Can we officially say that we're in a full-blown bull run? There's non-stop buying pressure for Bitcoin right now, with Trump media dropping $2 billion on this asset. And strategy continues to grow the already massive bag of Bitcoin they're holding, now worth an insane $71 billion. And many other big names are jumping in with massive buys as if Bitcoin is gonna run out. Well, actually, it does have a limited supply, so it makes sense why this is now considered a major store of value. And I'm sure you've seen the price chart. Bitcoin keeps pushing to newer highs, the way it has in past bull cycles right before euphoria kicks in. And at the same time, Bitcoin dominance seems to be hanging by a thread. You can thank the altcoin market for this. The total altcoin market cap is pushing to a record high as we speak. And if we have a checklist for what defines a bull run, we've checked off most of the major items already. But there's a bit of a disconnect here. Something happened with altcoins in the last cycle that many people didn't realize until it was too late. According to data from Masari and CoinGecko, almost 90% of the top 100 altcoins from the 2017 cycle were unable to beat their all-time high during this 2021 bull cycle. This created the idea of one-hit wonder altcoins, or coins that can never repeat their biggest climbs in the past. Which brings up a serious concern. Will most altcoins fail to beat their all-time high again? Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of altcoins on the market are going through a pretty solid push right now. The next leg of this cycle is definitely kicking in, and I've gone over several different metrics on this channel to support this thesis. But while we're all focused on Ethereum beating its all-time high and XRP already setting new price records, these are just two of many altcoins out there that are still very, very far from reaching their record prices. Some may even say these altcoins have pretty much died with no chance of revival. And no, I'm not talking about meme coin that pumped and dumped. These are top 100 cryptocurrencies from some of the most established and well-funded projects in the space. Some of them are still 90% down, a similar story to what happened in 2021. So should we move on from these projects, or is this cycle special enough to change the story? Stick around, because in this video we'll be diving a bit deeper into some of these tokens that I've actually been following for years. Again, these are not just some small useless projects. They're massive ecosystems that manage to keep their tokens in the top 100 by market cap. I'll share my opinion on their future potential as we try to answer the burning question: are these just bags from the past, or the hidden winners of what's coming next? Speaking of what's coming next, how prepared are you? I remember scrambling around for the right tools to use when I was trading crypto in 2021. But thankfully, I've built a solid list of platforms this time around. I've been able to buy and sell crypto without any issues, and WEEX has been one of the main go-to exchanges for me personally. If you don't think choosing the best platform matters, think again. Imagine waiting hours for your deposit or withdrawal to be processed and a slow user interface interrupting your trades. Everything on WEEX feels super smooth and lightning fast, and trading fees are extremely low. But if you use the link in the description, you'll get 30% off these fees, plus a chance to unlock up to 30,000 USDT in bonuses. It's free to sign up, so it doesn't hurt to try, right? And while it's good to have your top exchanges ready to use, staying informed with the right information is just as important. That's where the FireHustle Discord comes in. It's where I stay plugged in for real-time updates, market shifts, and strategies that have been working for me. Whether you're actively trading or just navigating the space long-term, being part of a strong, informed community helps you move with more confidence. If you're interested in learning more, then you can find the link down below. As always, none of what I share is financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research before making any financial decisions. Now hit those like and subscribe buttons, turn on post notifications, and let's get started. So obviously, there's a lot that's going on with crypto. Regulation changes, institutional involvement, and a load of bullish news coming in hot. But one factor that really screams bull run is explosive price action. Bitcoin is consistently trading in higher price range, and if we compare this to the highs from 2021, we're already up 2x from that point. And while most altcoins aren't in this situation, there are still some making huge waves right now because of recent price action. Ethereum just went through an aggressive climb this past week. It's now about 20% below its record high from 2021 and quickly closing the gap as we speak. Solana is also catching up with its own explosive movement, now about 30% below its record high, which was set earlier this year. And do I need to bring up XRP? Already broke past its previous all-time high and is still going strong as the market heats up. But this is the side of crypto that most are talking about. What about the other side that's struggling to wake up? The so-called sleeping giants. Well, let's start with one that's actually in the top 20 cryptos by market cap, Chainlink. This is truly a giant that's been powering cross-chain operations behind the scenes for years. If you look at the chart, it's a clear story of two different eras. Back in May 2021, Link hit its all-time high of over $50 during the peak of the DeFi boom. This is a time when Chainlink was making its way into all kinds of different projects and apps through its integrations and tools. Today is down 60% from the top. Yes, things are starting to pick up right now, and that's the case for most altcoins. But does Chainlink have enough firepower as a project to keep Link in the top 20? Well, while Chainlink was considered an essential toolkit for DeFi applications, there's clearly been a shift within the DeFi space, and in a good way. We're heading towards more institutional involvement and government-recognized DeFi products, which is why DeFi is now closer than ever to merging with traditional finance. And Chainlink found a way to stay in the middle of this shift in many ways. Their recent partnership with MasterCard is a major signal. This integration allows over 3 billion cardholders to access on-chain crypto through DEXs, giving Chainlink direct passage into traditional payments. They've also launched an automated compliance engine in collaboration with Apex Group and joined forces with Westpac in Australia for central bank pilot programs. All of this ties into the growing trend of institutional on-chain settlement and, of course, the rise of RWA tokenization. We also can't forget CCIP, which is their cross-chain interoperability protocol. This service is clearly gaining traction with year-over-year transaction volume up over 100%. Several major chains are relying on Chainlink for secure data feeds and inter-chain messaging. And the list continues to grow over time. What will matter going forward is the continued integration of Chainlink services. If we're expecting another DeFi boom this cycle, then Chainlink is positioned well to take full advantage of this. And with the rapid growth of RWA tokenization, Chainlink provides the key to unlocking cross-chain compatibility. Okay, here's another top 20 asset on the list of sleeping giants. It's AVAX, which is down over 80% from its record high in 2021. We did see this price chart attempt a few strong climbs over the last 2 years, moving mostly with the market overall. But these led to quick retracements. Those of us that have been positioned for years in this project are left wondering if it will actually make it past $100 again, or even higher than that. And before I share my thoughts on AVAX, I wanted to express the importance of having a good exchange platform for your crypto trading. When opportunities arise for any buys or sells, WEEX has been one of my top choices. Deposits hit my account quickly, and trust me, this is not the case for a lot of other exchanges. Having my funds ready to use ASAP helps me get positioned without missing opportunities. That's how I was able to quickly capture AVAX under 15 cents earlier this year. It's free to sign up, and the link is in the description below. Try it out and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. So the fact is that AVAX powers one of the fastest layer 1s in the space with an ecosystem that's grown a lot over the years thanks to their subnet technology. This has allowed teams to launch their own layer 1s that remain connected to the central Avalanche network. One example you might recognize is Beam, a Web3 gaming hub. And that brings up a major point. Avalanche heavily shifted its focus onto the Web3 gaming sector, which was gaining steam in 2023. But this sector lost hype and attention through 2024. And now, if you check on most gaming-related altcoins, they got hit the hardest when the market cooled off earlier this year. Using Beam again as an example, this one launched near the end of 2023 and went through some insane price action, and then drops over 90% from its peak to its low just last month. The current market push seems to be bringing all these altcoins back to life, but again, the lag is clear. That being said, gaming is not a dying industry. It's only going to continue growing, and Web3 gaming specifically will likely gain momentum again within the next leg of the cycle. One thing to realize about Avalanche is that this isn't just a single project, it's an ecosystem of multiple projects on the layer 1 level. There are now hundreds of individual layer 1s launched on Avalanche with ongoing expansion. And there's also serious capital flowing into this ecosystem. VanEck's $100 million purpose-built fund is targeting Avalanche-based projects, and the network's own Fusion initiative has allocated another $100 million to developer grants and ecosystem growth. On the DeFi side, Avalanche was once in a much better spot, but TVL is starting to slowly grow again, approaching the $2 billion mark. As a reference, only 9 networks today have more than $2 billion locked up in DeFi protocols. Avalanche is now right behind Hyperliquid, Sui, and Arbitrum. This team is also dipping into institutional level solutions, including tokenization. Now, I know this comes up a lot, but RWA tokenization is slowly becoming the future of finance in many ways. And projects that are aligning with the needs of the space are getting positioned for what's coming next. There were also network upgrades the team implemented through the year that helped with scalability. So this is an ecosystem ready to accept more institutional capital and adoption. And a lot of this is going to rely on how many connections they continue to make. And of course, constant developments to remain a competitive network for clients. Now, while Link and AVAX have a long way to go before reaching their all-time highs, some altcoins are even further behind. Algorand is down 90% from its peak in the last bull run, and it's about the same if you consider the record high after the Algo token launched. And the reality is that the 2021 bull run was not enough to push this past the post-launch jump. So now, with the price sitting way down here at about 30 cents, is it worth even keeping this one on the watch list? Well, here's the thing. Algorand is quietly building one of the most institutionally aligned ecosystems in the crypto space. Why do I say quietly? Well, because no one is really talking about it. They recently partnered up with Hex Trust, a fully regulated institution for digital assets, to bring staking rewards to their clients. This is a move to allow institutional users to take part in Algorand's governance and overall ecosystem, while also generating rewards. Algorand also recently integrated with Wormhole to open up multi-chain opportunities. This is beneficial for DeFi use cases, including RWA tokenization. Speaking of RWA, you may have heard of a real estate tokenization platform called Lofty, and it actually launched on Algorand. They offer fractional real estate opportunities with a portfolio that's been growing over time. But what's key is the total value locked on the platform, which is on the rise and approaching the $100 million mark. Now, remember the ISO 20022 hype? It's a global standard meant to unify financial messaging, basically a universal language for institutions to communicate with each other efficiently. A lot of altcoins were labeled ISO compliant, but most people didn't fully understand what that meant, and real-world systems weren't fully adopting the standard yet. That's now starting to change. The US Federal Reserve officially integrated ISO 20022 into its FedWire payment system, which processes billions in daily transfers. There's also a November deadline for all financial institutions to migrate over to the standard. With crypto slowly merging into traditional finance, ISO-compliant networks like Algorand are becoming more relevant choices for institutions stepping into Web3. But there's a bigger challenge here for the project, which I addressed earlier. Algorand isn't really being talked about much, at least not yet. Transaction volume averages around 1 million per day, which lags behind other leading chains. But with institutions rapidly flooding the crypto space, Algorand is already positioned. More collaborations and implementations of this network into real-world transactions will be important moving forward. And their recent partnership with Paycode to support financial inclusion for those in remote or underserved areas is a step in that direction. So the reality is that even the biggest crypto projects are struggling with their token price action, even with all their achievements and developments over the years. But a lot has changed this time compared to the 2021 bull cycle when it comes to digital assets in the real world. And projects like Chainlink, Avalanche, and Algorand aren't just surviving, they're evolving. Whether it's through institutional partnerships, DeFi infrastructure, or real-world asset tokenization, these ecosystems are actively positioning themselves for long-term relevance in the next phase of crypto adoption. Of course, being stuck in a much lower trading range causes a debate about whether or not we'll see enough of a price recovery or a new all-time high. And when deciding to make a move in the market, don't forget to have reliable exchanges ready to use. WEEX has been one of my top choices for many reasons, and you can check it out by following the link in the description. Remember, 30% off already low fees and up to 30,000 USDT in rewards. Now, the projects I talked about in this video aren't the only ones in this situation. Crow, ICP, and Polkadot are also on this list, just to name a few. These are all giants that had their big moments in the past and are now sleeping through all the excitement in the market. Leave a comment down below if you want me to cover these other sleeping giants and explore whether or not they're actually worth watching as the cycle heats up. And if you found this content valuable, then make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. As always, none of what I say is financial advice. Please do your own research before deciding to invest. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.